Okay guys, welcome to another episode of, not another episode, but kind of a new segment for this channel because I usually do Dev Pro, but this time I really wanted to do Vanguard because I haven't really done Vanguard episodes a lot recently, and our channel is mainly focused around Vanguard in general, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about some new Vanguard stuff. So, starting things off is Booster Set 12, which is getting released around July and August in Japan. And they're releasing a bunch of cool stuff for Dark Zone and other archetypes such as Narukami. So, they're mainly focusing around Shao Paladins, Dark Irregulars, and Pale Moons, with a little bit of Narukami, and I think about another clan, but I can't really remember at this moment. But for the and League Joker, hello, duh, which is like the main focus of the entire set in the first place. So, we're going to be seeing a lot of action over there in general. But today I'm going to go ahead and talk about two cards that was leaked kind of recently, about 2 weeks ago, and have raised a lot of speculation. So for the first card I'm going to go ahead and talk about is Super Dungaree. I'm going to call him that, but his real name is Demon Dragon Ruler of Heavens Dungaree Unlimited. Something about Narukami's and Kagos is that whenever they released a Crossride, they always have this weird subtext after their name. Kinda weird, but that's their thing and stuff. And the next card I'm going to go ahead and talk about is Silverthorn Dragon Queen Luquier, with a reversed R at the very end. We don't really know much about her, whether she'll be a Crossride or not, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you about what I think about what it's going to be after I talk about this card. So these are going to be the two cards I'm going to talk about. So for the first card I'm going to talk about is the Crossride or Dungaree. When this card was first leaked, it had no effect, and it was just the image with its name. Oh, not even its name, it just was an image of it, and the fact that it was a Narukami card. A lot of people were speculating whether it's going to be either an upgrade, such as a upgrade into a archetype, which is Erasers, or it's going to be a Crossride. When I first saw this card, I highly thought it was going to be a Crossride due to the fact that it had the same colored blonde hair, it had the bow and arrow, which was the same theme as the previous card, and Dungaree himself, the first grade 3, did not really have much going for him, and when people pulled him from set A, people were like, man, this card sucks, man, I wanted to pull Maelstrom. But no more, since Dungaree now has a Crossride, and in my opinion is not that bad, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about what I think about the card. First of all, I think the Crossride ability is actually not that bad. The fact that it's just Counterblast 2, and you can retire an opponent's card and it gets power, is not too bad, mostly due to the fact that it's already a 13,000, is already not too bad. For being 13,000, gain enough power, and being able to but killing off an opponent's unit is overall awesome. Another thing is that Dungaree himself, the grade 3, the sealed demon dragon, the pre-evolution, is also 11,000, so all your grade 3s are going to be 11,000 rear guards. So you're going to have an easy time fighting other Crossrides and most 11k Vanguards, because all you can do is just play the 11,000 and it can just go ahead and whack rear guards and Vanguard most likely. So being the fact that it's 11,000, both of versions, is not bad. The problem about this, though, is that it kinda doesn't work well with the original grade 3, because the original grade 3, I believe, binds the card face down, which is a problem. So, its effect is when it's first rode, whatever, I suck at grammar, it binds it 2 cards into the bind zone face down. And since it's face down, you can't confirm whether or not it's a Narukami card or not. So when you activate Dungaree Unlimited's effect, when he gets plus 2,000, it searches for binded Narukami cards. Since it's a face down, it doesn't really get the power boost. Granted, you can bind other cards with, I think they're going to get future support for Dungaree, but for the most part, it's not going to be able to do too much to the meta. But a good thing about Dungaree is the fact that he also gets all the regular support that all the other Crossrides have, which is a grade 2 12k attacker, which is what Dungaree needed, which is offensive power, since he can only knock down rearguards very slowly because it's a limit break ability. But for the most part, I think the effect is really, really good because you can start out pretty strong because you can already retire opponent's units once you hit limit break with the original Dungaree, and bind even more units with this guy's ability. And the best part is that even if you don't get the regular Dungaree in Soul, he still has an overall okay ability, and he's an 11,000 base, so like all Crossrides, it's a generally okay deck. I don't think it's going to affect the meta too much, but I think it's a pretty good card for itself, and gives people who've been collecting Dungarees a chance to shine, so I think it's a good card. But that's just me. Now for the second card I'm going to discuss is Silverthorn Dragon Queen Luquier R. I'm just going to call it from now on Luquier because I'm not going to say Luquier R. It's not Team Rocket, it's a Vanguard card. Anyways, this is a pretty poor scan of it. This is basically the sleeve of it because we don't really have an image of the actual card yet like Dungaree does. But a lot of people speculate that it's either going to be a Crossride or either an upgrade. Now, a lot of people think it's just going to simply be an upgrade to an archetype because Pale Moons have soul manipulation powers, and they can just call Luquier to the rearguard circle, activate Purple Trapezes, move Luquier to soul, call a grade 2 out of soul, and then you would already get the Crossride ability, which is already really strong because other Crossrides have the ability to just simply call cards such as Dream Painter or Nightmare Painter to move their grade 3 to soul, which costs them 1 card, whereas the Purple Trapezes would replace the grade 3 with a grade 2. However, I believe that this is wrong and it will end up being a Crossride due to 2 very interesting reasons. Not even 2, 3 reasons why I think it's going to be that way. The first reason is because of the latest episode, not the episode with Ren and Aichi, but the episode with Korin and Asuka, where Asuka played a critical and a heal trigger. But these critical heal triggers have significance because these triggers' names are, respectively, Silverthorn Barking Dragon for the critical, and Silverthorn Juggler Nadia for the heal trigger. Now the significance of this is because it's an archetype. Silverthorn is an archetype. Compared to the original Luquier, which is Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Luquier and Silverthorn Dragon Queen Luquier, they both have the same archetype name, meaning that it's going to be the same archetype, meaning that the original Luquier is going to support this Luquier in some way because they're in the same archetype. Which leads to my second theory, the Blockade theory. So, Blockade himself got a Crossride, and people were like, oh, it might not be a cross, it might just be an upgrade and stuff. Nope, it ended up being a Crossride. With one reason, it's because they shared the same subtitle, similar to Luquier. People thought, well, yeah, but it's Pale Moons, no way they're going to get support like that. Well, that's true. However, because it's going to be an archetype, it's going to be really hard to run Purple Trapezist. Kind of like with Liberators, you can't really run other cards other than Liberators because Alfred and Ganslot really needs the Liberator power in order for that to work. Especially Alfred, due to the fact that you need Liberator damage for it to completely work. So I think it'll have a lot of problems with that, so it would be recommended to just run Silverthorn cards. But the third reason why I think it's going to be a Crossride is because the Break Ride for Pale Moons, I think I have one right here. Yeah, the Break Ride for Pale Moons is not a Silverthorn unit. Similar to Kagados, how Blockade is a Seal Dragon, but their Break Ride, Dauntless Drive Dragon, does not have Seal Dragon in its name. Because the Break Ride does not have the same archetype as Silverthorn Dragon Queen Luquier does, it'll be really hard to use this card in the deck, meaning that means only the original Luquier and this Luquier is possibly the only grade 3s you can run in this deck, therefore meaning that those 2 grade 3s have some correlation and have some synergy, meaning that most likely it's going to be a Crossride. But that's only speculation and we don't really know what's going to happen. But if it ends up being a Crossride, I'm going to gloat about it in the episode that comes right after its announcement. So that's what I think about this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been Blue Apple 542, and I hope you see me the next one. Yeah. Next episode, I'm probably going to talk about more about the Pale Moons from set 12, which is Chelsea, and the brake ride. But I'll just leave that in the next episode. So see you guys then. Bye now.